Hello, what's happening? Matt, aka Lethal Frag here, and today I'm going to be talking about the Diablo III Real Money Auction House and how I think it would be an actual viable way to make money if you knew what you were doing and went about it the right way. So I want to start off with how I got to this commentary. I was talking to the coworker about 2 weeks ago, and he mentioned Diablo 2 in the conversation. My brain had a little bit of a nerdgasm because I hadn't thought about random loot or how much I love Diablo in about 4 years. So when I got home, I looked up Diablo 3, and sure enough, it's right around the corner. Beta slated for early September. And so in doing a little more research, I saw that they had a real money auction house, meaning that you can spend your own money and buy items from other players. And there's a huge uproar about it, and people saying, oh, I'll never spend money on Diablo items, or, it's unfair because people can, gear up without ever having to work for it. I mean, hey, it's a business. That's what it is. Blizzard's going to charge 3 cents an auction and, just rake in the dough every day. So, in trying to figure out if you could actually make money playing Diablo, I ran a little bit of math. And the numbers I'm using here are pretty meager. I think will be considerably less than what actually gets spent or how many people are playing, but I'm just going to use 2 million active players after 1 year as a baseline for the players of Diablo. Again, it'd probably sell way more than that. We're just going to use 2 million for math purposes. Now, we're going to say that of those 2 million players, 25% of those players decide, hey, I'm going to spend some money on Diablo. Where the other 75%, put their foot down and say, oh, I'm never going to spend money, and never do spend money, any of their actual income, on Diablo. I think as somebody on the forums put it best, oh, I'm an alcoholic, I'm going to go to the bar, I'm not going to drink, though. That's how it is. People get into loot frenzy. People love loot, including myself. I love loot. I love random loot. It's so sweet. There's just, infinite possibilities of what you can find, and that's the best thing about Diablo games. So saying that 25% of players will spend money, we're going to say that 1% of those players, 20,000, are going to spend $100 a month on the game. That equals $2 million over a year. We're going to say that 5% of players say, okay, I'm going to spend $50 a month. $25 per paycheck. No big deal, right? $2.5 million over a year. I'm going to say the other 19% of those players are only going to spend $10 a month. That's $3.8 million, bringing us up to $8.3 million in 1 year of people spending money on items in Diablo 3. Now comes the option if you want to keep the money that you make in-game on your Battle.net account and use it for other Diablo 3 items or paying your World of Warcraft subscription, whatever, or going through a third party and getting your cash as real money. I'm going to say that 75% of people choose to keep the stuff that they sell, the money that they get, in the game. And I think this is what a majority of players want to do. They want to sell their loot, accumulate money, and then buy real money loot without ever having invested any money. So we're going to say that's 75% of people. That leaves $6.2 million of active money that's in the system over a year. And we're going to say, okay, people still play World of Warcraft. We're going to take away 25% of that money for WoW purchases or other Battle.net purchases or whatever else they want to do with their money besides buy Diablo 3 items. That leaves $4.6 million for the 25% of players that opted to go through the third party and get their cash. And as we know in business, not everybody makes it. Not everybody's savvy. Some people break down and, buy items or spend their money foolishly. So we're going to say 75% of that 25% of players aren't very good at hustling. They aren't good at getting what they need. They end up accumulating money or spending new money or not spending their funds wisely or don't understand how to grind and find loot. So for the top 25% of that 25%, that leaves $3.4 million based on a $2 million active player base. This is only $68 a year, which doesn't seem like a great amount, but then if you think about it a little bit further, in business, in life, there's always somebody that's really good, and we're going to take that top 1% of players, and we're going to say they're going to own a good share of that money. They understand how to grind. They have made the sacrifices of, not buying gear for themselves and being patient and waiting and doing everything the right way the entire time they play. You can make about $500 a year based on these very meager numbers. And I think that's pretty sweet. I mean, it's only $500, right? But I mean, you're getting paid to play a game that you'd be playing anyways, a game that you love. And the equation gets really tricky because the loot frenzy. People are going to break down and spend money. There's going to be people spending thousands of dollars on this game, not just $100 a month. So I think this number could be considerably higher. What if there's 6 million players and there's a lot more money put in the system? What if people spend $25 million in the first year? You know, you get $1,500 to play a game for a year. That sounds pretty good. What about, you know, when the game's a couple of years in? When there's been all this money dumped into the system year after year, what if $30 million over 3 years gets in there and there's $90 million of active money floating around? You know, people know what a realware is. If you find a really good item, maybe you can sell it for $150, $200. Maybe more than that if it's the more really good item. People have all this money floating around with $90 million in the system over 3 years. Think about it. If anything's been proven on online gaming, you look at Zynga, all the Facebook games, that's $1 billion company per year. Look at World of Warcraft, the gold selling business, one of the most lucrative illegal gaming businesses, you know, ever. People are willing to spend money, and when you add random loot into the equation, the sky is the limit. And I think if you played Diablo the right way, for a few years solid, you'd be making some pretty good cash for your efforts. Yeah, that's just really my thought on the matter, and I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm kind of excited for it. I want to see what happens with it. Because if the game takes off and it skyrockets and people start dumping that much money into the game, you could make some serious cash while playing a game that you enjoy. It'd just be a bonus of it. It's all going to boil down to how you handle your money and, you know, how you run your business. Are you a good operator? Do you have the time to grind, you know? Think about it, you know, a college dorm could make, you know, $3,000-4,000 in a year if they all just took turns playing. Oh, I think it's pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to getting into Diablo 3 and hopefully showing you guys how to make some money. That's about all I got. Frag out.